Hey wizards, so in this video we're going to talk about the depth of the order book when it comes to triangular arbitrage. This is really important. If you ignore this, you're going to lose money when you go to place a trade in triangular arbitrage. So I really want to bring it down into basic fundamentals, simple terms, just to get into how to look at the order book, how to look at the depth of the order book, so that you know when you place a trade, you're going to be profitable. So when we're talking about the order book, I'm talking about the asks and I'm talking about the bids. And we're going to simulate that over here so that you can get a really thorough understanding of when calculating an arbitrage opportunity, what to look at. It is going to continue from the previous video that we did when we were looking at the high level calculation, but now we need to go into the order book depth. So let's get into it. So from previous videos, you will be familiar with this approach and tool here on how to identify whether there's an arbitrage opportunity to go and explore. And then we're going to use that to then go into the depth of the order book to calculate that arbitrage opportunity. So the first thing here, let's just remind ourselves very quickly, and I'm not going to go into this in detail because I've covered it in a previous video. So if you're new and this is the first video you're watching, just go back and watch that. But the first thing I want to mention here is I've changed this up a little bit. In fact, I've mixed fiat currency with coin. Now you need to know that whether you're using fiat currency or coin, the rules that apply are exactly the same. But I thought it'd be interesting here because we've got Bitcoin to euros. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the forward arbitrage opportunity for Bitcoin to euro. Now, this time I'm going to assume that I actually own euros, because the reality is these, what I call the base coin over here, euro, Bitcoin, euro, these are more than likely going to be the actual currency or coin that you're holding on an exchange. It's unlikely that you're going to be sitting on an exchange with ZRX and that you're going to trade ZRX. So it makes sense to really calculate an arbitrage opportunity from this side. So we're going to assume that what we own is on the right over here, which is the euro. So now I want to change euro for Bitcoin. So what I want is on the left. So I'm just going to go 1 divided by the ask. Then the next thing, I've got Bitcoin, now I want ZRX, so I'm going to do 1 divided by the ask, because again, it's on the left. So these are the rules we covered in the previous video. And then finally, I want to change ZRX back to euro, so I'm just going to multiply by this, minus 1, and that gives me a 0.09% arbitrage opportunity. Now, I know 0.09% isn't even worth looking at or trading, but to make this video, I literally just pulled some prices from an order book, on the drop of a hat. So we're going to pretend that this is a percentage we're interested in for the sake of this video. So 0.09% positive forward arbitrage opportunity. So now we need to actually think about what order books we're going to trade. So if I look at this calculation, the first is the ask order book, the second is the ask order book, and the third is the bid order book. In other words, we're going to place 2 sets of trades eating up this part of an order book and 1 set of trade eating up this part of an order book. So now let's go over to the depth tab over here, where I've put in the information of the order books for you so that we can simulate this trade in Excel. And you can see here I've typed the name, so Bitcoin to euro, ZRX to Bitcoin, and then ZRX back to euro, exactly the same as order books A, B, and C over here. So let's put it into perspective here, because level 0 is really the top of the order book. When we're looking at level 0, you could even think of it as level 1. We're really talking about this level here, right at the front of the queue, meaning if you place the market order, you're going to eat into that number. So when we're looking at that, we need to now calculate the arbitrage opportunity to make sure our order books have actually been pasted in correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, 1 divided by the price over here, which is the ask, because this is the ask order book, multiplied by 1 divided by the price over here, because this is the ask order book, multiplied by the price over here, because this is the bid order book, and deduct 1. Now, we can see that the percentage matches. It's 0.09%, just like it is over here. So we know that the order books have been pasted in correctly. Now, that does not validate that if we put real money in this, that we're actually going to see a return on our capital. The main thing here is we need to do what makes money. That's the whole point of all of this, is we want to make money. So now what we're going to look at is the actual calculation. So the first thing we need to think about when we're calculating this is we're holding euros, yet the size is in Bitcoin, because that's the amount of Bitcoin that's available at that price. And the price is the euro to Bitcoin, or the Bitcoin, sorry, to euro price. So I need to think about, well, if I'm assuming that I'm actually holding euros, how do I trade this? Now, I want to pause here for a second. This is really important. I want to ask you a question. Why do you think that I'm approaching the calculation in this way? I want you to just pause for a second. Why do you think that I want to approach the actual calculation assuming I'm owning euros? So good. I hope you paused the video and thought about that. So there's two reasons really. Number one, it's more than likely that I'm going to be holding that base on an exchange. The bases are typically Ethereum, Bitcoin, US dollar, GBP, euro, whatever it is. So it's more than likely on that exchange that you're going to really be sitting with a base over there. Now the base, I'm actually calling the coin on the right, which in this case is fiat currency. It's euros. So it's more than likely that I'm holding that. The second reason is because the way I like to calculate what is the optimum amount to actually trade in this arbitrage opportunity is to do what I call split testing. I'd like to go in with a small amount first, and with that small amount, that minimum amount, the minimum viable amount that is worth my time to trade in exchange for money, is it worth me placing a trade? If it is worth me trading with that small amount, then I'm going to increase the amount that I model to see, okay, what is actually the optimum amount of USD or euro or whatever, or Bitcoin to go in with. Now, in reality, you're probably not going to hold USD, euro, and Bitcoin on an exchange. You're probably going to want to use a stable coin. And myself and a fellow wizard who I know will be watching this as well, we're talking about this, and I would really agree and align with the thoughts there that you'd be using a stable coin. But anyway, for now, let's just assume you're sitting there with euros. I want to keep this example really straightforward. So the way to think about this is, what is the total amount of available euros? So if I take this size and multiply it by this price, I know in terms of euros the total available amount. And in this case, it's 1,245 euros. I've done the calculation here, guys. I've automated this whole model just to save time, number one, for you, and number one, for helping to teach you. So there's 1,245 euros available. Now let's assume that I've got 250 euros to trade with. So I'm going to enter in 250 over here. Now this says I would have exchanged, simulating this trade, the full 250 euros because there was 1,245 available. I've only got 250. So the full 250 would have got eaten up. Now let's say I have 5,000 euros. Well, the reality is the most I could have exchanged is only 1,245 euros. But now if I look over here, my balance that is left, because I've traded 1,245 euros, is 3,754 euros. So if I skip down a little bit, you can see that it now jumps to the next part of the order book. So how much is available on this line of the order book, and how much did I eat into? So if you think about it from here, if I've got money and I'm eating into the order book, and by the way, these prices are different. This is a total different time to when I took a snapshot and a different exchange. But when I eat into the order book, I'm going to eat through this level first, then this level, then this level, then this level. And if I'm selling to the bid, it's the same way, just the other way around. So I'm eating at this level first, then this level, then this level. And so what this model is doing is it's saying, okay, how much is available on the next level? And it's calculating all of this automatically for me. So the next thing over here is I would have exchanged 603 euros until I get all the way down here to where my balance is effectively zero. So this would have left me with a total amount exchanged of 5,000 euros. Now I'm going to pause here. Are you following? Are you seeing what I'm doing over here? Number one, I'm looking at what's the total available amount to trade? How much balance is left after I've exchanged this amount? So the balance here is zero because I've used up all my 5,000. So this balance over here is zero. And here is the record or the ledger of what I've traded at what different prices. So if I look at the total amount exchanged over there, it's 5,000. And then finally, what did I exchange it for? Well, I exchanged it for Bitcoin, and here's the equivalent amount of Bitcoin, so 1.656. So I exchanged 5,000 euros for 1.656 Bitcoin. And that's how this calculation really works. Now this is for order book A. Now let's go back to 250 euros as the example. So to keep it simple, all of that got eaten up on the first trade. So I'm going to stick with that for now, just this first layer on the order book. Now guys, this is a lot to take in for one video. So what I'm going to do is actually schedule another video to release tomorrow covering the rest of this tutorial, because I want to keep this really bite-sized for you so that you can follow and replay and get this far again, and try and maybe do some of the calculations on your own or with a calculator to make sure you're following. So I'm going to stop the video here and put the next one up tomorrow. Now, I've seen some comments on YouTube of people saying, hey, this is awesome, I can't wait for the next video. And I love getting those comments, by the way. They give me a lot of fuel. So thank you so much for the positive energy. That's really what I want on this channel, is just positivity. So thank you so much for that. Now, what I would say is those videos have already been released. You're just not getting notified about them. So one of the things with YouTube is if you want to get notified about a video coming up, then there's like a little bell thing next to the subscribe button. You can click that and it will notify you when my next video comes up. So what I would say is if you're following the Triangular Arbitrage series, then hit that bell icon because you'll be notified of the next video, but then you can unhit that button afterwards so that you're not getting bombarded every time I post a video, because my videos aren't just on arbitrage, they're on all sorts of different things on crypto. Anyhow, let's stop the video here. I hope you're getting a ton of value from this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Talk soon.